Yeah, is it visible to everyone?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so मेरा introduction दे दिया है. Let me reintroduce myself. जो भी join किया उनके लिए. Guys, I am Avinash and I am currently interning at Vedanta Limited and will be taking all your doubts at the last, and I'll be sharing all my experience and my preparation stuff which we used to prepare for the intern. So let's begin. Okay, so slide is visible, right? Okay. So guys, guess it's not working properly. Okay, guys, I guess we can start with this. So, first of all, why chemical core? So, all of you know that what we do in chemical core is just basically applying our chemical knowledge, all the things, all the stuff we study into real world. So, in terms of modeling, developing, working on some pilot project of industrial importance, energy cost optimization, green, all this bookish stuff. So what we do here in industrial is first we learn all the core concepts, then we apply all those concepts in basically to finally we need what we need is we just need to optimize the cost and such things. So that's why we apply our chemical core knowledge. So now core doesn't mean totally core. You all must be thinking that core means we'll be working in some industrial equipments. If just for chemical core, if I say, then we'll be working with chemicals and stuff. No, just as you know, core doesn't exactly means core. As for us IITians, it doesn't. As far as we are considered, and what we do here is that our role is basically techno managerial, and we do more tech stuff. What we do here is that we get lots of data from other plants, and then we just optimize those data. I'm just talking about my role. So we just take data from different plants, and we just optimize the data for better production. And similarly in other core companies also, our role is not just core. So that's, if you are afraid of that you have to be like doing those chemical stuff, and if you don't like the chemical or mechanical or electrical, whichever is your branch, and you have to do in completely in your life, or you don't want to do it in future in 10 years of your life, so that's what we you don't need to afraid of. Now I'll talk about bit of industry, but you all know about industry. Just I explained everything about industry right now. So let's move. So these are few chemical or mechanical core. Both are aligned. Chemical mechanical core companies are almost similar, and all these companies were open for mechanical, chemical, and electrical also. Okay. These are really good companies, guys, and most of those companies like Vedanta, ITC, HUL, they generally came every year. Dr. Reddy this year didn't came. It took through few um, online unstop competitions. Otherwise, they always come. So now we move on with the main topic. What do we have to do for the preparation? So for the preparation, you just revise the basic fundamental of thermodynamics, your chemical engineering thermodynamics, their heat and mass transfer stuff. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to know for core preparation. And you must have done all these courses right till now, and you have must have a bit of knowledge about that. But only what you need to do for your intern prepares, you just go through all the notes and all, and just for once you just go through all the notes and make few क्या बोलते हैं, just make some short notes, sticky notes for your basic preparation also. So further, for well rehearsed to defend your project. It's like whatever you write in your resume, you have to defend that. Definitely. Just rehearse and just go word by word, ask ChatGPT to ask questions from you, and just be ready to defend your project. Because if someone or the interviewer asks anything from your project, you must answer. Like if you hackle there and you are not able to answer the questions that interviewer is asking about your project, since it's your project, he'll be asking like your project. So it should not happen. And it's not necessary the core projects, although core projects are an added advantage to that. Like if you have some ML projects, some AI projects, you can also put some AI ML projects in also there. But if you have core projects, it's an added advantage since he'll be more related to that, and he'll be asking more. He will be more obliged to ask questions about core projects. Next is group discussions. Like group discussions is really a very important topic for all the core companies and few more companies also. So what you have to do is just uh, make a group of 8 to 10 people and start discussing on them. The ANC must be conducting ANC or chemical or your branch must be conducting few group discussions and all in later future. So you just join those and have a good idea about that also. But the best thing you can do is just make a group of 8 to 10 people and just discuss within yours. Yeah, that is the best thing I can tell about group discussion. And group discussion is nothing about, it's just about confidence. It's nothing about your knowledge, it's nothing about your past experiences and all. It's just about confidence. And only thing you have to do there is just put your comments, and for your comments you must have some facts. Like if you are writing something or you are saying something about a particular thing, you just state that statement, then just prove it by some logic. That's what you need to do in a group discussion. That's all for your preparation. And further, let's move on. So for the resources, you'll get this PPT shared. I'll share it. The ANC will share this PPT with you, and you can take notes and all. And these are GD case studies, and you just first go through them, and also you have seniors, you have us. Whenever you get shortlisted for any company, you just contact one of us, and we'll be really helpful, and we'll be really happy to help you otherwise. Now for how it goes. Like for me in Vedanta, what happened was we just applied for Vedanta on the RS portal. You will be getting RS portal access soon. So first we applied on Vedanta on RS portal for Vedanta. Then we got a resume shortlisting, and resume was shortlisted on the basis of some core projects, of course, and few more things like your peaks and all. Then what happens is we have a technical and an HR interview. For a technical interview, they just ask basic things like chemical kinetics, Legible's principle, basic thermopolymers, basics, just basics, nothing else. In my case, they asked me about some heat exchangers, and they asked my applications in they asked my applications of my projects in industrial. Like I was doing a project in thermodynamics. It was something about heat exchangers, and they asked me about few heat exchangers and their applications. That's all. That was the basic, very basic questions about thermodynamics and heat and all. So you can do it by just by revising your notes and grinding your resume also. So for other companies like Dr. Reddy, the similar thing happens. There is a preliminary test, then group discussion, then technical and HR round. For HUL, there is resume shortling, then case study, then GD, technical and HR. For ITC, there is a detailed application form, GD, technical HR. But the similar procedure is followed for all of these. You can just go through once this PPT and you'll just know. For Piramal also and for BPCL, all these companies are chemical core companies, and you'll get the similar exposure and all through these companies also. And for preparation, you just have to do the all the things that I told you about. Now tips. So for interview, what you have to do is just research about the company's background for which you are applying for. It is really must, because one of the questions in my interview was that what do you know about Vedanta businesses? And I was just looking at the website an hour before, and I was prepared about that. So it's a must question, and you must research about company's background. Then be well prepared to defend your project listed in resume. That's well said. Now look over initiatives you have mentioned in POR section, if any. This is also a really important thing. Just if you have any POR and you have mentioned it, then you can not brag, but you can tell that I have this experience and I have this exposure in defending, or what do you say? What do you say? Like mentioning that I have managed some things like these, and we had this done these practices, we won these competition, all. And you can tell that. Then try to Google about the test round interviews for respective companies. You may get previous years test questions. Yes, you can do this also. For few companies, there is a, like, if you can see, there is psychometric test for some companies. Like for those companies, you can get the questions on internet also, because companies do not bother to make questions every year. They do not go through the effort of making questions again and again. And the final tip is be confident, patient, and you will surely rock. So now feel free to ask any questions, guys. That's all from my side. Uh, I'm done with the PPT. If Likhit want to start, if he can.
Fine. Can I start?
Yeah.
I'll start. I'll start. Fine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, guys. Until then, do you have any questions regarding the PPT or regarding anything or any company you want to join? Because this doesn't just limit yourself to ARIAS portal. You can apply companies off campus also. It's not a big deal, given that you have a solid resume and good projects. And connections also plays a vital role in that.
Fine, Avinash. I'll start. Thank you.
Okay, man.
Hello, everyone. I'm Likit. I have an incoming intern, which actually started last week at Texas Instruments, and I'll be basically sharing my experience on the whole internship season, how it happened, and um, what was my overall experience in the last 1 week I had at Texas Instruments. So I'll be beginning with what is electrical core, and I'll be explaining on the resources and the interview process and stuff. And at last, I'll be sharing my overall experience at the intern till now, and what you can expect from your intern next year. Okay, so what is electrical core and what do you do in electrical core basically? So you've done, I guess, people from electrical who are there here would have done a lot of EE courses and learned a lot of stuff out there. What we'll be doing in an electrical core or core company is basically we'll be using that for a commercial purpose, right? So there'll be designing and developing hardware verification and validation, power estimation and modeling wireless communication. Whereas like wireless communication like is a different thing. I don't think so. You would have started till now, but basically you'll learn it before your internship. So you'll be working on something broadly in these four domains. Most of my friends and people I know have got their jobs in power estimation and wireless communications, and a few of us just got in design and developing hardware. Validation is sort of not an intern thing. It is something you do get to do after you have some experience in design and after you know how design flows work and the uh, what could have gone wrong in design. You should be able to predict this before you go into validation, right? So validation and verification. So basically, those are not something you'll get to do in your internship as such, but basically these are the broad type of work you'll get to do at a core company. However, the product lines and the work done in a core company is very diverse from what you like even what you can even imagine, right? So the number of products they have and the complexity that is involved is nowhere close to something you can even imagine. So uh, uh, it is something I'll share it at the last, but it is something very complex than something you'll see in your course or some project you're gonna do in your like higher level E courses or like E61 suffix courses in your sixth semester or something. So it is going to be pretty complex than that. Just take this. So these are roughly the companies that visit our campus almost every year. Intel didn't visit last year for some reason because their stocks are also dipping, so they didn't visit last year. And Samsung visits in the first week, and it is a sort of a software plus core software. It works on like uh, drivers for LED chips and stuff. So this is a sort of embedded role, to be frank. Google is also uh, both embedded, and Google has like a different set of roles. Whereas TA, Qualcomm, and NVIDIA recruit based on their requirements on different roles, which is digital, analog, or if it is embedded software. And NVIDIA also has two recruiting, hardware and software. So hardware is basically digital because NVIDIA doesn't have any products in analog domain. Qualcomm has a big catalog. I remember, as far as I remember, there are 3 to 4 roles in Qualcomm. So basically, there are a lot of roles in these companies, and each one of them tries to recruit a sizable pattern. Like TI recruits almost 30 people from IIT Bombay and 30 odd people from IIT Madras. But sadly, we didn't have a lot of people interested or ca- uh, who they found capable enough last year. So we didn't have a lot of recruitments in our campus. But in general, they look for recruiting a lot of people. Like Qualcomm also has a lot of capability to recruit. So if you have the talent, there is not a number limiting your thing. It is just your capabilities that are going to limit you to getting into this one. What should be your preparation strategy, as in if you're aiming for a digital role, right? If you're aiming for a role at a core company, you should first be very thorough with your basic E courses, which is ESC 201, E200, and E210. Uh, E200 is sort of important for the Laplace part is very important. After that, it is not so important. But E210 and ESC 201 are pretty much must if you're if you're aiming for this. And this review computer architecture basics. This is like 1 2 weeks work. If you like, not even a full time work, you can just like keep reading articles, keep doing stuff. Just keep reading something on this so that you will find things relevant, or you can, you know, just have some keywords relevant, know some keywords on this so that if something pops up in your interview, you'll at least be able to know the context behind the question. That's it. They're not going to ask like core questions on what is the architecture of an SRAM or what is the core building block of an SRAM. Those are all not gonna be expect. You can't expect all those questions. And, uh, you can't expect stuff like that. It is going to be sort of contextual things. Right? They'll expect you to have some context from these things. Data structures and algorithms, C++. It is not directly asked in your interview, but you'll completely ignoring this, you'll have many problems in your intern. Basics of Verilog VHDL, this is expected actually. Um, Depending on your interviewer, VHDL and Verilog is somewhat they look to touch somewhere down the line. If you're not confident in anything above, they'll look to touch on this if you're good in this. Projects and CPI, CPI is a secondary factor. If you have like a basic threshold, that is fine. Projects are also not really that important unless you have something very relevant. They're not gonna even like look into it. if it is something pretty much software or ML thing. Resources, NISO Academy has a very good lecture series on digital, so you can refer to that. I guess you'll have referred this in ESC 201 if you had trouble somewhere. So you'll find this relevant. And ESC 21, E210 are compulsory, and E370 you can like look for notes, or you have Professor Saha's lectures in YouTube, so you can look for these lectures. They are like really concise, and if you like considering you have done E210 and ESC 21 very recently, and under like really good professors, so you'll be able to easily grasp what is there in E370. We in fact had some difficulties, but you will not have any as such. CS220 is optional, very optional, but you'll find lectures of this. You'll find these lectures of those somewhere. Apart from that, before your interview, just have a look at these things. I'll share this tab. Sorry. Uh, have a look at all these things. They're basically company-specific interview questions from like a long time ago. Just look into them. It's not that you, if you're not able to solve something, you don't have to like feel bad for it. It is like very broad, and as in the domain of the questions are very broad. But the idea is to, at least you should understand the solution in the first place. You shouldn't be like referring it out somewhere else. If you are able to be in the stage, you are able to understand the solution, that is still fine. You can like you can cope up with things like you can do well still. You still have the you can still do good. And this is a handbook for digital. You can like this is the whole prep resources thing. You can look for this handbook in digital, which can this is a handbook. Sorry, this is a handbook. You can look from FSMs because they're not really covered to good depth. After this, you have like this is a very pretty small book. You can just give it a read. Um, that is something they might expect if they want to. Like if you have something relevant, and they might expect depending on the depending on your interview. So my experience, I wrote a test for Qualcomm and Text Instruments, which basically had three sections. Basically, the first section in TA was aptitude. The second section had three subdomains: signals, digital, analog. You could choose whatever you want, and embedded also. Embedded is so you had like four subsections out there. So those were you could choose to attempt whatever you want. Google Hardware had a direct shortlist, and there was a test, but it was pretty much easy. To be frank, you could find all the questions somewhere, and that was like mostly based on the resume, and the shortlist was mostly based on the resume. And NVIDIA was a test focusing more on like GPUs, computation clocks, and uh, it was mostly flip-flops and digital, but on to a greater depth. And they expect you to have greater intuition, a good intuition in NVIDIA's test. Whereas in Texas Instruments, it is more of do you have all the boxes ticked? Like, do you know all the basics of this? NVIDIA expects you to be fast with the basics. That's it. That is how NVIDIA's test is structured. Interview. Texas, I gave the interview for Texas, but Qualcomm also had the same process. So you just have one round. The one round is going to be mostly of 40-50 minutes. If you're really good, you can get it done a bit early because obviously. But if you're like just going with the flow, that is fine. Like if you have like a really long interview, that is still fine. But you should be able to catch the flow and not miss the interview or anywhere. And interpersonal skill is very important in the interview because especially in these companies, most of the people are very introverted and they're not really looking forward. Then they don't really have a lot of interactions outside. Like they're not professional presenters or professional orators. So they might have some trouble communicating their concepts with you, right? You should be really understanding, and you should be really like willing to listen whatever single word they say, because the meaning of the question they ask is gonna change from like to very large extent with one single word that they add up in the middle. And if you miss that, maybe your interview is gonna go really bad. So be really patient and look for every single term, and please keep noting things if you miss something, and please keep noting whatever they say in the middle of your interview. That really leaves a good impression on the interview. And there is an integrated HR run in the same session. Basically, they'll try to give you some real life digital problem and say how are you going to solve it. It is test for your intuition and sort of common sense. That's it. And like we can't really call it a HR run because it is just your intuition and about what concepts you learned. And most important part of this is my interviewer was a person who did his MTech, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago. So he really knew what happens in our courses and what is taught at IITK. So if you do something wrong, if you ask something from your course and you do mess up there, then you're obviously going to have a very less chance of your interview going good after that. So uh, at least with your coursework and these basic questions that they ask, if you end up missing these, then please be like really careful for your next interview. Uh, so that is the key part of it. And you can feel free to ask any questions. I'll just take 5 minutes sharing my internship journey as of now. Currently, I'm working on a product called C200 processor, from which is used in automotive devices. In this, we have a lot of that is the whole product chain. The C200 is a bigger product under which we have many sub products which are used in very different applications. So, uh, in that, our product is AM13X, which is very specific, I guess. Okay, what kind of problem statements is prioritizing core advisory? Okay, I'll answer JV's question later. I'll just complete this. Sorry. Uh, Basically, in that, my job is to automate the tasks they are doing on a daily basis. They have like softwares. It is mostly automated, like digital in the sense you have all the chip I was working on had 35K connections, and no single man can sit and route those 35K connections, right? So it is just like blindfolded automation happening, and just people verifying if it is right or wrong. My job is to automate it as far as possible. We are still working on many parts of it. I can't share them directly out here, but okay. Do they ask about E210 grades? No, they don't ask any grades in the thing. Okay, I do. Okay, so as an intern, the problem statements you get to work on vary a lot. Like these are broadly said in this second slide, but they are even very specific after this. So I work on designing part of it and automating this design part of it. There are few of my friends who work on power estimation of the chip and power estimation of each and every part, each and every block inside the chip. And few of them work on like radar systems, communication systems, like high frequency signals and stuff. Especially at TA, there is a very broad domain of work, and there is like uh, especially in terms of projects, even if you do any project here, your work at TA is going to be some thousand times more advanced or thousand times more professional than something you do at your institute level or college level. So don't expect that if it is a lot of grinding, or if it is like you don't have the right resources to do the job in your college. So if you are feeling it tough out here working with the software, so it is fine. It is going to be better out here. Just if you're liking the idea or liking the intuition that you're developing with this work, it is very fine. You can like look to opt for a core intern or is prioritizing core advice ideas on that core arrives in the later, so there is no backup in that case. See, backup always exists, especially with the kind of internship season we had. It is very like we had openings literally till yesterday. We had an opening, so that is the kind of internship season we had, and you have really good companies like Atlassian, which comes after TA only. So uh, there is nothing called a backup anywhere. You either get one or you don't. Like eventually, if you don't land at a core company, like we had Siemens also coming this year, and Siemens also took a lot of people, and that was blindly on the basis of CPA and just some basic core knowledge. That's it. So if you have the basics, you will most probably get hired somewhere in electrical core, and if you don't, you still have a good amount of companies coming till the end of this month. You have Amazon, Atlassian, and all these good software companies coming also, and there are pretty much hardware startups which are really looking for people interested in this. So you really don't have to worry about having no backup. You can just and core is also a very valid backup as such. The whole effort of preparation is barely 3-4 weeks if you sit properly. After that, it is more of like you can do DS also. It is possible to do DS. That is something. And how is the workload at TI? At TI, you don't really have something like it is not so much to be frank. You just have to report to one person called your mentor once in a week or every day, depending on your mentor's how free is your mentor and how interactive is he. And he's pretty much chill in most cases. So your work at TA is going to be how your workload at TA is going to be how good your work relation is with your mentor and how clear your communication is with him. That is it. Mostly. If you have any doubts, you can.
Guys, you can write your doubts in the chat box if you have any.
Resources to learn HDL, you have this website called HDL, which I'll share the link up here. You can just solve you can just like go through what is there in this website. That will do the job. I'll share the link here and I'll add it. Is it hard to since we haven't done this thing? No, they won't expect any knowledge from me 370 to be frank. If at max they'll expect the first 2 weeks or first like 3-4 lectures, which is basic like CMOS and MOS, like basics of CMOS and MOS. That's it. That is not more than and that and just they want you to know the design of a converter and the function of a converter. That's it. Uh, you can't handle that in an interview. Like if they like that is something out of your hand, right? How can you like say that in an interview? You can just say I'm interested. I'll work on this, but how can you really say is my CPI limiting me from this? Or that is not going to happen. But I've seen like Anvai also has a good CPI, but still he was able to get his intern here. So it isn't a like, CPI being high is not a thing. Whereas CPI being low could be a thing, but don't worry with that. Like, any more questions? Please post it or unmute it.
I guess we don't have any more doubts left. So yeah, I would like to thank Likrit for giving us valuable insights, and I would like to thank you all for joining the session today. Don't worry, the resources and the PPT would all be shared to you eventually, along with the recording of the session. Thank you all for joining.
And thank you.